So, hello everyone. In this video, we are going to complete the topic from where we had left, which is culture and civilization. After this video, we will be dealing cultural relativism and ethnocentrism. Now, what do I mean by culture and civilization? If a question comes, which is a probable question for 10 markers, this is a very probable question which can repeat any number of times. So you will have to start with E.B. Tyler and his definition. Definition of culture, primitive culture. Primitive society, I think. I'm kind of missing to this particular name and I'll come back to you. That E.B. Tyler has given this definition in primitive culture. Basically, primitive culture is the name of the book which was published in 1871 by E.B. Tyler, where he has given the definition of culture. So you give the definition of culture over here, which is culture is a complex whole of knowledge, art, belief, customs, morals, practices, habits, and capabilities that are acquired by human being as a member of society. So you went through this. Then next is civilization. What do I mean by civilization? It's a simple fact. It is the highest level of cultural attainment. Okay, this is something that you will give the definition of culture, civilization. So basically, now we will have to move towards characteristics. Okay, so the characteristics of civilization is urban, literate societies. Then these are basically the civilization uh, according to L.H. Morgan. You remember him from the last video? L.H. Morgan, in his book Ancient Society, 1877, he has given this savage, barbarism, and civilization. So this is nothing but that civilization. So this civilization is urban, literate, there is developed economy, there is developed polity, there is developed society, and there is developed specialists, and there is ample of surplus. This is the characteristics of civilization. Okay, characteristics of culture. You remember Lisa from GS class, which went to IIDSS. Okay, so this is something that you will also mention. Now this is a 10 marker, so you don't need to explain each one of them. You just have to write it down 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, learned, inculcated, social, adaptive, gratifying, structural, ideational, integrative, dynamic, stable, and social. So these are the points that you're going to write it out, and you have to just make sure that you make a diagram like characteristics, and then you draw it like this. So half of your page is covered and you don't need to explain it. So that is how something you have to act smartly. Okay, the next one is, this is done. Now we have to consider MacIver and Page and German. So basically MacIver and German, these are important over here. So MacIver and German, they have given another view towards civilization. There is an L.H. Morgan's view, okay, which we have discussed. Now these have given the different variation of their opinion. So what do MacIver and German says is that civilization is a material aspect of culture. So German and MacIver. So this is number 5, this is number 6 characters. Okay. So civilization is material aspect of culture. So civilization is something which is overt. What do I mean by overt is which you can see, touch, feel. Okay. If we move to culture, can we see culture? No. Can we touch culture? No. Can we feel culture? No. So how culture is? Culture is covert. Civilization, you can consider buildings, monuments, pillars, caves, and potteries, everything that we have got from the history. Civilization. What is culture? Basically, culture is something which is intangible. We cannot touch culture. It has emotion, it has values, okay, these etc. It becomes part of culture. So this is it. Next, if we move forward, so I'll just revise it straightforwardly. Okay, so for civilization you have to write it out. Okay, you can write it out clearly. These are the points. Civilization means urban, civilizations mean literate, it has art, science towards its highest level, it is technology, it has technological advancement, done, it has technological advancement, and we have given the views of Morgan. Okay, we have defined this. Now we move to culture. Now you have to understand that we have to put these this is culture, this is civilization, this is culture, this is civilization, this is culture, and this is civilization. So these are the three views. That first view states that this is one and this is two. These are two different. The other view say they have interaction. The third one says that culture is basically part of civilization. What should be our view? None of them. We should consider culture and civilization as something which is complementing each other, which is supplementing each other, okay, and which is basically with each other. Okay, so this is something, it does not have individual. Culture cannot sustain without civilization, civilization cannot sustain without culture. So write it down that culture cannot sustain without civilization, and vice versa. Then, so this is basically a simple thing that you have to understand, that both are dependent on each other. Okay, but at the same time they are independent. They are independent, but they are dependent on each other. So this is like independent, but they are dependent on each other. Okay, so culture is what we consider in the definition of culture. We have went through moral, customs, values, etc. Civilization is buildings, monuments, etc. So this is something that is a technological aspect of it, and we can write certain points about it, okay, which are important. So here is culture, here is civilization. So this is internal, civilization, culture is internal, civilization is external. Culture is covert, it is overt. Culture is intangible, civilization is tangible. Okay, and if there is any point that I'm missing is nothing. This is it. So this is basically a difference also. Okay, that I have mentioned. Then you also have to come to similarity. Similarity. So what is the similarity? It is dependent on each other. Then both of them reinforces each other. Both of them supplement and complement each other. Okay, and the last point, that none of them can sustain without each other. So this is all about culture and civilization and its debate. In the next video when we meet, we will end this 2.1 topic, where we'll be completing the cultural evolution and ethnocentrism. What is the difference between them, how both are relevant and irrelevant. And even in this year there was a UPSC 2020 anthropology had a question on this topic, ethnocentrism and cultural relativism. So we will also discuss what is the requirement from this particular topic. So stay tuned, and I'll be waiting for you in the next video.